The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, Lord.
As Jesus continued his journey to Jerusalem, he traveled through Samaria and Galilee. As he was entering a village, 10 lepers met him. They stood at a distance from him and raised their voices, saying, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." And when he saw them, he said, "Go, show yourselves to the priests." As they were going, they were cleansed. And one of them, realizing he had been healed, returned, glorifying God in a loud voice. And he fell at the feet of Jesus and thanked him. He was a Samaritan. Jesus said in reply, 10 were cleansed, were there not? Where are the other 9? Has none but this foreigner returned to give thanks to God? Then he said to him, "Stand up and go. Your faith has saved you." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
A number of years ago, I was visiting one of our missions in India, and it was only the second or third day that I was there. It was a Sunday morning, and one of the other priests came to me and said, "Come on, Ken, we're going to go. I have to go out for Mass." I said, "Okay, I'll go with you." So I got my alb and my stole, and we went to Mass. And as we were driving, he said, "This Mass is at the local leper colony." I went, "The leper colony?" The first thing that surprised me about the leper colony, it was just on the outskirts of the town where we lived, but you couldn't see any houses. You couldn't see the road that went down there. It was right along the river. I later was told that because of the fact that for many, many years lepers were considered outcasts, so nobody wanted to see or even admit that they existed. The Gospel of today's Mass talks about the 10 lepers. And I felt so bad all week thinking about this story and knowing that we were going to have a baptism of a little baby girl. I said, I don't want to talk about lepers and when she and her family heard. But anyways, the story of the lepers in today's Gospel and also in the first reading, it's not so much about leprosy. It's about the fact that Jesus he healed 10 of them, and only one came back to thank him. And he didn't only heal their physical illness. 2,000 years ago, people didn't understand leprosy as much as it's understood today. It's very curable, it's contagious, but not highly contagious, we've come to learn. But the lepers need not only physical healing, but also emotional, spiritual, psychological healing. If you're an outcast, if you can no longer come and live with the rest of your family, if you're put out into the woods or into the wherever, far away from where everybody that you love lives, and you can't see them ever again, imagine the scars that you would feel. Imagine the hurt that you would have. And that's the way lepers were treated, and unfortunately, in many places, they are still treated to some extent the same way. But only one came back to thank Jesus for healing not only his physical ailments, but his spiritual and emotional and psychological. When we ask Jesus for healing, the past couple of years, I got my knee replacement, now my back is when I'm walking with a cane, and I'm going, "Dear Lord, what am I doing here? Why don't you heal me?" And then I need to stop and think, it's not just that. The Lord also heals our spirits. He takes care of our psychological illnesses, and he's always there to help us. we have to remember those 10 lepers, only one came back. I hope all of us that have been touched so many times by the Lord's love and His grace and His healing, I hope we're not one of those 9 that didn't come back. Remember to come back to the Lord every time He does something for you. Every time we realize that the Lord is present in your even in your daily life, even in something very, very simple. We may not ever endure a disease like leprosy, but we have many issues in our lives that are difficult for us to endure. And Jesus is always there with His grace to support us, to uphold us, to keep us going in the right direction. Even if only one came back out of 10, I hope you're that one.